Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Scents of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance review. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at a very rare, very discontinued fragrance from the house of Davidoff. Came out in 1998, classified as a woody floral musk fragrance, and that is none other than the fragrance Good Life by Davidoff. So, as what we'll do, as we always do, we'll take a look at the fragrance, breaking it down into 5 parts. First, its box and bottle presentation. Then I'm going to go over the fragrance's notes. Then I'm going to talk about its performance based on my experience wearing the fragrance, my overall thoughts, and then I'll give it my overall rating. And if you're new to this channel and you enjoy classic men's fragrance content, make sure to subscribe to support the channel. If you have an Instagram, check out the Scents of South Jersey Instagram. There's photos of fragrances from my collection, and I do daily Scent of the Day story posts. Without wasting any more time, let's get into this review and take a look at Good Life by Davidoff. Okay, so starting things off with the presentation, guys, I don't actually have a box because I got mine last year, I believe last summer, in a gift set. So I'm going to show you that. The color scheme is pretty much the same. So you can take a look. This is a huge box here. The way it opened, it flipped up. And what I had in there was the eau de toilette, a shower gel, and then the aftershave. And you can see here. So you can see Davidoff Good Life in yellow with the Davidoff signature. And on the back here. However, I do have a couple other things that probably are the exact same thing. So you take a look at the box here. This is for something of a bar of soap. It actually comes in here. Davidoff made a full body line for this fragrance too. So as we get further into the review, I'll show you guys some more of the body line products. But again, silver Davidoff there, darker green, lighter green, Good Life. It'll have the size and concentration. You know, this bottle right here is a 75 ml eau de toilette. And on the back, you've got some brand information, and on the bottom, you'll have your barcode and your batch code. However, again, this is not the fragrance box. This was for soap, but just for the presentation purposes, I wanted to show it. So you can see here, you can see that Davidoff. The cap is really nice. It's in cursive there, etched in there. Good Life is written on the side. And you can see here's another bottle that I've sort of almost killed, and it's got this like ribbed shape to it. And it's like got the rigid lines. You can see when they're together, they kind of fit in there. And then on the bottom, of course, you'll have some more brand information. This batch code and of course the concentration here too. So these are long batch codes: 06133293304. I have no idea how far back that goes. And you have the cap. It does click into place. You can hold it, and the distribution is actually nice, strong sprayer too. So really cool presentation for Good Life by Davidoff. Okay, so the notes for Good Life by Davidoff. In the top, you have fig leaf, melon, lavender, bergamot, and grapefruit. And then in the middle or the heart of the fragrance, you have tea, which is actually an unusual note that I haven't really seen much before. Magnolia, violet, blackcurrant, Amalfi lemon. And then there's one note that I have no idea what it is. I've never heard of it. I've never even said it before. I'm probably gonna butcher this word. Pelargonium, I've never even heard of that. I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming it's some sort of floral note. And then in the base of the fragrance, you have clover, sandalwood, almond, and amber. So to me, with this fragrance, it really bursts with the melon, the lavender, the bergamot, and the grapefruit, and maybe a little bit of the tea and the fig leaf as well too. And so basically the tea and fig leaf, the citrus, and some floral notes, and of course that melon note. That's what I pick up. All the other stuff, especially that one random note, I would have no idea if it was in there unless I went online and read it. Okay, so the performance for Good Life by Davidoff, in my experience wearing it, it's funny because I've had 2 different experiences. I initially thought that it was a pretty weak fragrance. Again, it's a freshie, so I always would give it a pass because to me, I always assume that those are not going to perform. So this is the bottle that came with the gift set. As you can see, it's almost empty here. I really wore through this in the short time that I've been wearing it, but if you guys follow the Instagram, you know I've been wearing it a lot, shaving with it, using all the body line products on the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, this past weekend. It was my scent of the weekend, and I wore it all the whole time, and it was reapplying it. And, again, fragrances are meant to be worn, so I don't care even if it's rare. But I initially thought that it was going to be like maybe a 3-hour fragrance. I wouldn't notice it anymore. But however, I think I went nose blind to it because I did have an instance down at the shore for Memorial Day weekend where someone had said, hey, that you smell nice. And it was an unsolicited compliment, which rarely ever happens. But it did, in fact, happen. And I'm like, God, I thought that was gone. But I think I was going nose blind to it. And I really do think it lasts a long time on clothes. So Given that information, I would say maybe an average for someone who's got normal skin chemistry, it's going to be maybe a 6-hour fragrance, maybe a 5 to 6 hour fragrance. It's not a beast mode scent. Again, it's a freshie, and I do think it does last on your clothing a lot, because I think that's what carried the smell with me throughout the day on my skin, and especially in the heat. I don't think it lasted that long, but it's definitely a nice, refreshing scent in that term. So I would imagine 6 hours would be the max you'd get with this fragrance. Okay guys, so it's time for my overall thoughts on Davidoff's Good Life. So first I want to show you some of the other products that they have. They do have a shaving cream, and you can get these relatively inexpensive. I think I've seen them as low as $29, and it really smells like Good Life too. That's what's really nice. And it wasn't skunked or spoiled or anything like that. I did mention earlier that they do have a bar of soap, so we'll take that out of the little case. This is so classic and old school to have these plastic soap cases to travel around in, and even the soap, it's a facial body and facial bar, so it even looks like the ribbed glass of the bottle. And I haven't even used that yet. I typically tend to use body washes more often. They do have an aftershave balm here, which you can get. These are inexpensive, and I did have the shower gel that came with the gift set too. So these sort of separate. You can kind of see little like soap chunks in there, but it still works, and it still smells really good when you use it. A nice lather that comes up. And the last thing that I have is a deodorant stick for Davidoff as well too. So you can see they all have their own individual boxes, all look exactly like the fragrance box. And of course, wouldn't be complete without an aftershave splash. So you can take that one off, and you see this, it's obviously a splash bottle too. Other than that, the presentation is the same, still says Good Life on the side there too. So when it comes to the fragrance, it's interesting because I had an experience with this. When I got this one back last year, I initially wasn't too crazy about it. I sort of thought it was okay, and I have kind of a checkered past with Davidoff. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest Cool Water or Zeno fan. However, this one really, really grew on me, and I really do enjoy it. And when I sprayed it on again this year, I'm like, let me try it out again. I needed something summer fresh, and I wanted to wear something different. And I put it on, and I was just like, wow, I guess I didn't give it a chance. I only wore it once or twice, maybe around my house. But wearing it out, because it starts off really green, which I love green fragrances, and then it's kind of a bitter green, sharp green, which I enjoy, and then it kind of goes into this dry down where it has what I would consider sort of an artificial melon scent. And I think that's what was challenging for me at first. And then when I eventually got past that, and I'm like, okay, that does smell nice. Overall, the dry down, the opening, they all kind of come together, and it smells really, really good on clothes. And I think it's definitely a fragrance that when it was out, it was not some well-renowned fragrance. I think it becoming discontinued and people wanting it to come back is what the hype about it, where that came from, and as it does in many cases. And that's why the prices for it are so ridiculously high. So I'm always looking for alternatives to this one, and I ended up getting a backup bottle, because this one you can see is a little bit lighter green than this one. This one isn't spoiled, but it definitely doesn't smell as clean as this one does, and I'm almost done with this bottle. This one, it's got a little bit more of a muskier scent to it, whereas that one is a little bit cleaner. I actually like the cleaner one, but this one definitely isn't spoiled, and I didn't get it for an astronomical price. It was actually under $100, which is pretty good. So for Davidoff, because you see the prices are crazy for Davidoff Good Life. So I wore the hell out of this fragrance the past couple weekends, and I've been really enjoying it. I think you could wear it definitely spring or summertime, daytime casual or nighttime casual. If you're going out this summertime, you typically tend to wear less, obviously less clothing because it's of the heat, and this is a perfect fragrance to wear in any of the situations, day or night, as long as it's casual or an office safe fragrance. I think age range for this is going to be probably mid-20s, maybe late 20s or up. It's definitely got a little bit of an old school vibe. It's definitely not going to be the immediate crowd pleaser, but once it's on, I think it smells nice, and it smells fantastic in the air as well too. Alternative wise, from what I've read for this fragrance, they've, some people are really into the fig leaf, which I don't get as much. And they have a fragrance from the House Alexandria, which is a cologne fragrance called The Best Life. And that's really inexpensive. I think it's $30, $37 or something for a 75 ml bottle. So I might pick that up if I can't get another good deal on Good Life. Would I go out and spend $300-$400 on another bottle? Probably not. I lucked out. I've noticed prices have gone up with this. When I got this gift set, it was under $200. and that was last summer. And I was getting a lot of fragrances last summer. I've really been thinning out my collection, but this is one that I really enjoy. And unfortunately for me, I've sort of blown through it, but hey, I think these fragrances are meant to be worn. And this is probably my favorite fragrance from the House of Davidoff so far. Just again, a green, airy, and with a little bit mix of florals, and then that melon note. It's a perfect clean spring and summer fragrance. All right, guys, so it's time for my overall rating for Good Life by the House of Davidoff. Presentation-wise, I really like it. I think it's such a cool-looking box. The bottle is really cool. It's very unique. I think it's bright. It's eye-catching, and the bottle, it's a classic look. Like it's definitely a cologne bottle, but the way it looks is unlike any other bottle that I've seen personally. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 for presentation. As far as the performance goes, again, that's always going to be subjective. However, my experience is that it's going to be in the 6-hour range, so 6 out of 10 for the performance. And the scent, I really enjoy it. I like the green opening the best. I think that melon note can sort of be challenging for people. It was for me in the beginning. It took me a while to come around on this fragrance, but once I did, I really enjoyed it. So the scent's going to be a 7.5 out of 10, making the overall rating for Davidoff Good Life to be a 7 out of 10. Okay, guys, that's my review of the 1998 release from the House of Davidoff, the discontinued Good Life. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments section, have you ever tried Good Life? Do you enjoy it? What are your alternatives for Good Life? Have you gotten a bottle for a good price? I'd love to hear from you guys. You know, I always appreciate all the interaction. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and check out the Sense of South Jersey Instagram page, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.